Russian does use the Cyrillic alphabet. So there's 33 letters. There's kind of like 3 different groups. There's like the letters that sound the same. They look the same and sound the same as in English. There are letters that look like English letters but make a different sound, and then the letters that are completely different. So the Cyrillic alphabet is based, like it's similar to the Greek alphabet, so it's kind of connected that way. And there's, it's a very systematic language, so it's there's very few exceptions. It may seem like an exception, but once you dig into it, you see that everything follows a very specific pattern, and so it's very roots based. So like, I mean, towards the end of my mission, where you get to the point where you want to express an idea, but you don't quite know the word, and so then you'll, know this root and this root and this prefix, and then put it all together to express the idea. And whether it's a real word or not, the idea gets across, and then like you'll go look up in the dictionary and be like, oh yeah, that is like a normal word, because it's all very root based, and so it's very systematic and very, very structured. And so at least I personally appreciate that, because it drives me nuts when there's like, oh, this is the rule except for this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And so there's so it's very systematic like that. It's very structured. Ukrainian and Russian are very similar languages, depending on where someone's at, and how familiar they are. They can be mutually intelligible, meaning that people can talk to one and like they can understand each other. There's a little bit of a there's not too big of a dialectal difference between Russian in Russia and in Ukraine. The biggest one is like the accent. So it's many Ukrainians don't pronounce G's as a G. They'll say like pronounce as a H. So it's like a guttural H. So that's something that Ukrainians will kind of stick out as, that way. It's if you're talking to someone who's Ukrainian versus a Russian, that the Ukrainian people will say ha. So instead of to talk, the verb to talk is gavarit, but they'll say havarit. And so things like that. So that will stick out. But other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Like you'll hear little things here and there that they may say slightly different, but mostly it's the same language. Russian is the same language in Ukraine as it is. There's not too big of a dialectal difference. There's pretty much everybody in Ukraine understands Russian, so I think that's why they call the majority of missionaries Russian speaking, because whether they speak it as their native language a lot, like the majority of the country is bilingual. But most of the people at least understand Russian, so you can communicate with them. But it's a very intricate language, and it's kind of fun. The word order doesn't matter. It's a case language, so that means that in addition to just like conjugating a verb, you also have to decline, which is like a conjugation, any adjectives and nouns as well. And so to match the verb or the preposition. And so the word order doesn't matter because of that. So you can put things in different order, and the closer something is to the end of the sentence, the more like emphasis it has on it. And so you can switch things around to kind of to emphasize what you want to, or to kind of, sometimes you'll say things like, I don't know, like I can't think of an example right now. But you can say things where it would seem the word order makes no sense in English, but it is like it sounds better to say it in Russian. And so you have to match the cases. So there's 6 cases in Russian and 7 in Ukrainian. And so it's like understanding the purpose of a case and kind of how it works. Like once you have that click in your head of why it's set up the way it is, then kind of everything really makes sense. And it's I guess for an example, compare it to, it's like in English, we have like I and me are like the same word, like it's both referring to the same person, just it's like you talk to me, but I, like when it's the subject, it's I, and when it's not, it's me. And it's the same thing with like he and him, or she and her. So like those are cases, so it's like that, but it's for every noun and adjective you have to do that with to make it match.